What's going on, everybody? Bobbybarks here, and welcome to my non-spoiler review for the Netflix original series Stranger Things. Stranger Things is an 8-episode supernatural sci-fi horror show which was released worldwide on the 15th of July 2016. It was created, written and directed by twin brothers Matt and Ross Duffer, who are best known for the 2015 drama thriller movie Hidden, which starred True Blood's Alexander Skarsgård. They've also written an episode for the Fox show Wayward Pines. But it's here on this show where they showcase their talent and an obvious love for 1980s pop culture. The Duffer brothers were born in 1984, so like myself grew up around the works of Steven Spielberg, John Carpenter, Stephen King and George Lucas. Whilst the show is predominantly centred on horror, sci-fi and supernatural aspects, you can't help but compare the main characters to those from films such as Goonies, Stand By Me and one of my all-time favourites, Monster Squad. In 2011, J.J. Abrams released Super 8 along with Steven Spielberg to try and pay homage to films and shows he grew up watching. And whilst that film was okay, it's Stranger Things and the Duffer brothers that hit the nail on the head. The show captures the 80s nostalgia in its entirety, with its pacing, atmosphere, soundtrack, characterisation and storytelling. Even the opening credits have a neon lighting and an old VHS grainy filter cover that takes me right back to my childhood. The series is set in 1983 in the small town of Hawkins, Indiana, and centres on a group of 4 12-year-old boys who open the show playing D&D in one of their parents' basements. We have Mike, who is more of a lead character in the show, his best friend Lucas, and their 2 other friends Dustin and Will. Following an epic 10-hour day of playing through a campaign of Dungeons & Dragons, Will disappears on his way home. The following night, the boys start their own search for Will, and they meet a mysterious young girl called Eleven, who not only has special abilities, but also appears to know where Will is. Whilst the show features many great characters and actors, including 2 household names in Winona Ryder, who plays Will's desperate mum, and David Harbour as the chief of police, the beauty of the series lies with the acting and relationships of these boys and Eleven. The depiction is so real, believable and, well, 80s, it has a real coming-of-age feel about it, in line with 80s teen movies Pretty in Pink, Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Breakfast Club. If I didn't know better, I'd think John Hughes himself had an input into the series. However, the show is called Stranger Things for a reason. This is mainly a horror, sci-fi series with a sinister government agency headed by Dr. Brenner, played by the fantastic Matthew Modine. Modine portrays the villain of the show, who has a rather bizarre relationship with the character Eleven. Under Brenner we also have Agent Connie Frazier, played by Catherine Dyer, who goes mainly unnoticed throughout the series, but while she's all smiles and sweethearts on the surface, she is cold and calculated underneath. And despite having these villains, there is also a more insidious supernatural force at work that is interlinked with the agency and Eleven. The show is littered with great characters, with Jonathan Byers, Will's older brother, Nancy, Mike's older sister, and the cool kid she started hanging out with after dating school heartthrob Steve. The supporting characters don't falter either, from Mike's parents, the sheriff's deputies, to the boy's comical and marvellous teacher Mr. Clark. It's difficult to have a favourite character in the show, and whilst I think the one people will pick out is Eleven, played by British actress Millie Bobby Brown, I'm more inclined to lean towards Harbour's character Chief Jim Hopper. You'll see a bit more of Harbour in the upcoming Suicide Squad movie, but his character in this show is just fantastic. There's a lot of similarities between Hopper and Brody from Jaws, but here he starts out as a bored, abrupt, dislikable alcoholic, whose relationship with Winona Ryder's character Joyce Byers is just brilliant. Ryder too demonstrates a real performance which I wasn't sure she was entirely capable of at this stage of her career. She showcases a different side to her skills, going through a range of emotions and desperations of finding her boy. Despite knowing that she's probably going mad, she never really gives up hope, and it's as if she's trying to convince everyone around her, including the viewers, to believe that Will is still alive. Without giving too much more away, this is definitely a show you should check out. I literally watched all 8 episodes over a weekend, and as soon as you've seen the pilot, you'll find yourself binge-watching the entire show. The Brot score for Stranger Things is a very easy 10 out of 10. It's an understatement to say that this has fared well with the critics. It's been such a success that it's already been renewed for a second season, with it due to air as early as autumn 2016. I'll be doing episodic reviews in the near future, so if you have watched the show, I'll hopefully see you there. Thanks for watching, guys. Bobby out.